Flat 4B, a true Indian horror story, written by Joker, narrated by Echo. My name is Clive Fernandez. My wife Delilah and I moved into Flat 4A just a few weeks after our wedding. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a brand new high-rise in Bandra West, nestled in a quiet lane near Mount Mary, the kind of place where the silence feels safe. The tower had 40 flats, but only 8 or 9 families had moved in. A couple up on the 9th, a retired nun on 7, a bachelor on 2. The rest of the floors were just empty, echoing corridors, locked doors, motion sensor lights that never triggered. We barely saw anyone. It was like living in a hotel after checkout. Right across from us was Flat 4B, but it wasn't like the others. It was sealed, a thick steel sheet bolted over the entrance. No handle, no peephole, no number plate. When I asked the builder about it during handover, he just waved it off. "Not ready yet, sir. Some plumbing issues inside. We'll open it later." But he never did. No work crew, no tiles being cut, no hammering, just silence. It stayed sealed. We had only been there a few nights when the first strange thing happened. The flat was quiet. We were asleep. I woke up without reason, checked the time. 3:03 a.m. And then I heard it. Ding. The elevator had stopped on our floor. I sat up in bed. We were the only ones living here. Flat 4A, us. Flat 4B, sealed. No one else. It felt strange. Maybe someone ordered food and the delivery guy hit the wrong floor. I told myself not to overthink it, but still, I stayed awake a few minutes. No one knocked, no footsteps, no sound of the lift leaving. I don't even remember falling back asleep. The next night, again, 3:03 a.m. Ding, the lift again. Exact same time, exact same silence afterward. By the next night, I decided to stay up. Delilah was asleep. I made coffee, sat near the hallway listening. At 3:03, ding. I walked slowly to the door and peered through the peephole. The elevator stood open, but there was no one inside. The doors remained open longer than usual. Then they slid shut. No one had come out. No one had gone in. There were no sounds in the corridor, but the silence. It felt heavy, like the building was holding its breath. The next night I watched again. 3:03 a.m., ding. Still empty. But this time, the light in the corridor outside flickered once, twice, almost like something passed beneath it. Too fast to be sure, but enough to feel it. Something was there, something I couldn't see. That evening, we finally finished setting up the house. We stepped outside with the final touches. A welcome mat, a brass nameplate, Clive and Delilah Fernandez, and a small wooden crucifix that Delilah had brought from her mother's home in Versailles. She kissed her fingers and gently nailed the cross just beneath the nameplate. Then she looked at me, tired but content, and said softly, "Finally, home sweet home." That night we went to bed early. For once I slept deeply, until knock, knock. It wasn't loud, but sharp enough to pull me out of sleep. I blinked. The room was dark. 3:11 a.m. Then, knock, knock. I sat up, still groggy. I didn't feel scared, just off. I looked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. I even opened the door a crack. Still nothing. Maybe I dreamt it. Didn't tell Delilah. But all through the next day, I kept thinking about that knock. That night, Delilah stayed up, speaking to her sister in Australia. It was 3:03 when I heard her calling me. Clive, wake up. Someone's at the door." Knock, knock, knock. Louder this time. I got up. I looked through the peephole. Empty, but on the floor, a wide, wet smear. I opened the door slowly. There were 3 wet prints. Not human, not animal. Oddly spaced, wide, heavy, like something had walked on all fours, dragging weight. Delilah stared. "That's not a person's foot." We didn't sleep after that. The next night, 3:03 a.m., knock, knock. Nothing else. Then another night, knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. I shouted, "Who's there?" Delilah yelled out after me, "Who is it?" Silence, then, "Scorch! Scorch!" A sound like claws across the metal door. Then came a voice, "Let me in." A breath, "Let me in." We backed away. The hallway light suddenly popped and went out. The next morning, the mat was gone. A wet trail led across the hall to 4B. The steel plate, slightly bent, like something had pushed from inside. Later, I asked the builder again. He brushed it off. "Kids messing about, using the fire exit maybe. I'll check." But his voice was too casual, like a line rehearsed. That same day, the watchman, Anthony, said softly, "Builder said he'd never open that flat again. Not after what happened to the last guy." That evening, we noticed something else. The cross was missing from the door. No sound, no one seen. We searched everywhere. Next morning, Delilah found it. In a drawer, wrapped in towels, burned at the edges, cold to the touch. Later that night, she saw something move past the hall, a shadow, inside. That night, the welcome mat had flipped, the nameplate scratched with 3 long gouges. We called the builder again. He still denied it. We didn't care anymore. We packed our things, we moved out the next day, told them we were transferring the flat. As we drove away, I looked up. The window of flat 4B, a black shape stood there, eyes glowing red, long claws wrapped around rusted bars. It dragged one nail across the window and drew an upside-down cross. I never told Delilah. Weeks later, our boxes arrived at my cousin's house. One of them was unmarked. Inside, wrapped in kitchen towels, was the wooden crucifix, slightly blackened, still cold to the touch. We didn't speak of it again. Only now it was charred, warped, and scratched on the back with a symbol they didn't recognize. They never opened the rest of the box. They never went back. She's still up there, waiting. If you're still listening, you've survived another true horror from the dark side of India. If this story haunted you, like the videos, subscribe to this channel for more true nightmares and leave a comment below. What would you do if someone knocked on your door every night at 3:03 and asked to be let in? I'm Joker, and I'll see you in the next story.